As we close out this last full week of 2025, let's talk about something that can define your success in the coming year: community. However, we must move beyond merely participating in community to actually building community. Today, I'm sharing the critical tips about bringing community through your communication, through your personal leadership and team leadership to help you to become a genuine community builder. As you know, I'm Denise Miller, your Leadership Lady Live, and I've been bringing videos to you for the last 4.5 years. This fourth quarter challenge, I've been bringing videos to you 3 times weekly, but because this week was so hectic for all of us, I'm putting all 3 tips into one video. So it'll be a little lengthy. Give me about 12 minutes of your time. I'm sure you'll find it to be worth it. Now, let's talk about our communication tip first. And to master communication to your community, I recommend 3 practices. The first is to ask concerned questions that will build or highlight someone else's story. Ask, how does this affect you personally? Or what would you want people to know about your experience rather than just saying, well, how do you feel about that? This will yield responses that are so much richer. The next thing I'd like you to remember is that stories build empathy and empathy builds community. Second, make space for the quieter voices that are rarely heard. Practice intentional inclusion. Invite the quieter people into the conversation, not by singling them out, but by saying something like, I'd like to hear from someone who hasn't spoken yet and allow someone to be courageous and step up. The third is to be curious about opposing viewpoints when disagreement arises and ensure that others are heard. Respond genuinely by saying, that's interesting. Tell me more about why you see it that way. A healthy community does not mean that everyone agrees. It's more about everyone being heard and feeling heard. It is more about taking the action that allows you to be curious and to maybe learn something that you didn't know. Take this action with you also into 2026. Each week, initiate one conversation that brings people together by asking a question that invites story sharing. Help people know how to talk with each other rather than talking at each other. Now, let's go for a personal leadership tip. Choose to be a community consumer, or would you rather be a community participating person? Uncomfortable question here. What are you doing to actively build community? Here are 4 ways that you can demonstrate your determination to contribute to your community. First, lead with generosity and without keeping score. That's hard for so many of us to do. But if you share your skills or your time because they're needed and not because you'll get credit or get paid, you will find so much satisfaction. And honestly, what happens is that you will be rewarded down the road, probably not by the people that you shared your time with. The second personal leadership tip is to lead with presence. Simply show up, but don't show up absent-mindedly. Attend that meeting and pay attention while you're there. Volunteer for that event and show up ready and willing to help to work. Check in on that neighbor who is facing challenges, whether they're physical challenges or whether they're elderly or whether there's another kind of health challenge. but be ready to help when you show up. Your physical presence is more powerful than you realize. The third tip, lead with bridge building. Every community has divisions. Learn how you can connect across those barriers. Find the common ground. Refuse to speak or to listen to gossip. Gossip is out. Introduce people who should know each other. Be a bridge builder, not a barrier creator. And then, fourth, take initiative. Don't wait for someone else to solve the problem. When you see a need, step up. Initiative is personal. Leadership in action is initiative. Your action, identify one way you can personally contribute to your community with your presence and your personal effort, not your money. Then consistently look for ways to do that in 2026. The strength of our communities in 2026 will depend on the individuals who lead themselves to serve something bigger. And that starts with you. Now, our team leadership tip. We want to build teams that serve beyond themselves. When we do that, it's powerful. I learned this lesson well as a Maxwell leadership team member. That team is all about serving the globe, serving beyond who we are. And my question to you is, does your team exist only for itself, or does it contribute to something larger? Here are three powerful strategies that ensure greater team impact. The first strategy is connect your work to purpose. Are your team members just completing tasks, or do they understand the impact of their work? Do your customer service team members see themselves as problem solvers rather than as call handlers or work ticket closers? If you lead a team in the financial sector, do those team members understand how their accuracy affects people's financial security and people's ability to live well? Help your team members see the why behind the what. Share customer stories when it's appropriate. And when people see that their work matters beyond the metrics, engagement transforms. Your team engagement catapults and increases. The second strategy is to create opportunities to serve together. Perhaps a quarterly or twice yearly volunteer day where the whole team participates in one particular effort. Creating shared experience where your team works together for something beyond profits helps people to see each other differently. It flattens the hierarchy and it will deepen collaboration beyond the volunteer venue and into the workplace. Studies show that when team members serve together, there is higher engagement and lower turnover in the workplace. Third strategy, support individual community commitments. Everyone has a passion. And when people on your team have causes that they care about, learn about those causes and offer flexibility for them to pursue those passions. And then publicly celebrate their efforts and their commitments in the workplace. Hold a workplace meeting. Honor people's community commitments. When you do that, it tells them that they matter beyond mere productivity. That kind of recognition is very, very powerful. When you do these things, you will retain the best people while you build purposeful team connections and the team connecting to a larger community. In 2026, commit to initiate one community building conversation with your team and determine how your team can best impact the world around you. Then create opportunities for that to happen, for your team to serve together. You can make 2026 the year your team helps to pour into your community in a way that matters. Remember now, I'm Denise Miller, your Leadership Lady Live, and I am here to speak to you about all things leadership and communication and teams, as well as your individual personal growth. I want to wish you a very happy new year. Next week, we'll be going into the transition between 2025 and 2026. And I look forward to sharing with you some information about peace. One of the things that we know that we need going forward is peace. Now, remember that you can connect with me through my email or through my website. I will be happy to connect with you. Have a great balance of the day, a wonderful balance of the weekend, and Happy New Year.